Okay, long time no see. I'm recording a video again for the first time in several years, I think. I'm in a new studio, as you can see, in our new apartment. And we've been working on something pretty cool. So I thought I would show you this. It's very early still. We're not even in alpha, but it's turning out very well. And I think it's something that you guys will really love if you work with Prisma. So let's take a look. So, as we can see here, we have a desktop version of Prismabuilder, and you can sign in with your GitHub or Google account, and you can create workspaces where you can invite your colleagues to collaborate on Prisma schemas and save them in the cloud. So let's go ahead and sign in with GitHub right here. All right, so as we can see here, we already have a workspace. So let's use that. And here we have the UI for Prismabuilder 2. We have a sidebar to the left, which you can collapse, either by clicking the sidebar button or Command B. To create a new schema, we can simply create one here. And now you can finally name your schema. All right, now we're inside of the schema builder. And if you've used Prismabuilder before, it's gonna look quite familiar. You have your provider to the left, where you can choose between Postgres, MySQL, SQL Server, SQLite, MongoDB, and now CockroachDB. I'm gonna stick for Postgres for this demo. We have a few changes here in the bottom. We obviously have our visualizer. We also now have a JSON editor if you want to edit the underlying JSON schema. Because how Prismabuilder works is that we're using a library called Prisma AST, and it uses an abstract syntax tree to parse the Prisma schema and turn it into a JSON schema. That's what we then use to actually manipulate it. Let's go ahead and create a model here. Now you can finally name your models here as well. And let's go ahead and create a fairly simple blog schema. So we're gonna need a post model. We're gonna need a user model and a category model, let's say. We can also create a enum, let's say user role. Let's start with our user schema here. So we have made some changes to what happens when you create a new schema. Because previously you always had to add a updated at and created at field. Now we do this automatically for you. You will, however, be able to change how this works. So maybe you want to use a different name for these fields, or you want to always create a deleted at field, for example. This is going to be possible to change on a workspace level or on a schema level. That's not quite decided yet. Let's go ahead and create a new field. So this add field will look familiar to you. Now, however, we've given this a bit of a UI refresh, as you can see with the entire app, and we separate this into types, which are built-in types, models, and enums. So let's go ahead and choose a string for this. We're gonna call this email. And it's gonna be required. It's also going to be unique. And I think that's about it. Let's create this. Let's also go ahead and add a password. And this will not be unique. All right, now let's go on to the post model and create a new field called title, which should probably be unique as well. And that looks good. We can also add a body. All right, now let's move on to the category. And finally the enum. So maybe we want the admin, a user, and a guest. Another thing that we heard a lot from you with Prismabuilder 1 is that default values were kind of lacking in some ways. So we're taking strides towards making default values a whole lot better. It's not perfect yet, but I'm gonna show you one thing that I'm quite happy with. And that's how multiple default values work. So to kind of show this, it's maybe not a great example, but obviously the user role will live on the user. And I mean, this is not going to be an array, but for this example, let's make this an array. Now, if we go into the default value, we can either choose no default value, we can choose an empty array, or we can choose multiple default values. So we get an array here. And if we add this field, and we go ahead and generate this code, you will see that the default value here is an array of admin, user, and guest. This is something that's been highly requested. Let's go ahead and create some relations here. So a user is going to have multiple posts. And this can be an empty array as default. And a post will have a category. Maybe this can be an array as well, actually. And the category will have multiple posts. Alright, now I want to show you something that I'm really happy with. In Prismabuilder 1, we had a really rudimentary diagram visualizer. In version 2, we have completely rebuilt this into a proper entity relationship diagram. So if we click on Visualize Schema, we can now see exactly how our models and enums relate to each other. So if we take a look at the user here, we can see that the user has a user role, and this connects here. It has an array of posts, which goes here. we can see that the post has a relationship to the category, and the category has a relationship to the post. So this is really nice for seeing how your database relations work. Here we can see the underlying JSON schema. And this is just a small schema. So this is going to be a huge file if you have a large schema. Let me show you Prismabuilder's internal database here. And here's what it looks like if we visualize it. That was just a sneak peek of Prismabuilder 2. There are a long way to go before we can release this. We want to have live collaboration, cloud syncing, pricing models, and we definitely want to ship this on all platforms day one. So Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and web. It already works on web, in fact, and on Linux. So if we open up the website here, we can see that we have the exact same experience. I hope you enjoyed this video, and my plan is to make more of this going forward and showing you the behind the scenes of building Prismabuilder, what tools we've used, what decisions we've made, and some challenges. Comment down below what you think. Yeah, I think that's been about everything for now.